It's locked, all right.
I'm assuming we go the other way. Right. Yeah.
You're spared the Gentiles.
It's weird walking amongst these quick. Excuse me, can I have that money? Goes like my moving.
We're at your mercy. Will you end us?
Well, I want the money.
We're at your mercy. Will you end us?
No, but I want the money. Guys. What money? Yay. Okay. 5 more killings to fill my pocket.
I cannot enter.
Oh. So. Very nice, very nice. I like it a lot. Yes. What chapter am I even on? Chapter 3. Kebab challenge. Thank him. He's not such a bad guy after all. I made a mistake about him.
It's locked, all right.
Oh yeah, shit. Any notes and information for me? I like information. Oh, more shillings. Oh, I guess shillings are good, right? Ooh, secret! Why can't I have just taken that way in the first place? You little
Would you
shit.
like to take communion with me now?
Sean, are you eating raw flesh?
It is the sacred flesh of the mortal lamb. Our Lord's bountiful transmutation for the sustenance of his
Where
believers.
did you get that from?
Thank you, Lord. I am your most humble servant.
So, true to your word, you waited for my return.
I told you, Dr. Reid, I was a man to be trusted. Did you have words with the poor Harriet?
You make no distinction between the living and the scars, do you?
We are God's children, Dr. Reid. One and all. And he's determined to save us.
Does this place belong to you? How can you be so certain you can keep it open?
This warehouse was once property of the Dawson family, but has been bequeathed me through donation.
The Dawsons? The wealthiest family in London? Have they a clue as to what goes on here?
Not at all. The donation was made before the war. The building was run down. I never met Aloysius Dawson myself.
So you have the run of the place and no one's taken notice?
As long as we keep to ourselves, we interest no one. This is a haven, and I pray it remains so for eons to come.
What will be the result if you continue to assist both Skulls and the living?
For the last decade, that's what's been happening. And they found a better life. What's to change?
You're forgetting the epidemic. Things can go south very quickly. I've seen it.
Oh, these are terrible times. Only those pure of heart shall prevail.
You've turned Skal now. Don't you see the danger to anyone giving you their trust?
We are all sinners, awaiting salvation. This is a simple truth, ordained by the Lord Almighty. I am a seeker of his glorious light.
Harriet, Miss Jones has been behaving in a most violent manner. She's going to need special attention.
That's precisely the reason I brought her here. To meet old Bridget. She's the guide Harriet requires.
Who is this old Bridget?
I don't know, Doctor. She rarely speaks of her past, but I know she has a long one. She's likely the oldest soul in the city.
Harriet is possessed by her hatred. You cannot let her roam free. She's dangerous.
She has joined her own kind, Doctor. Old Bridget is a saint to the younger Scals, guiding them to salvation and peaceful existence.
I believe I've learned all I need to know. I'm certain you've killed no one, but one day I believe you'll cross the line.
Logic is a false prophet. Faith is the only path to salvation.
What do you mean?
We have been blessed with God's eternity. We are the instruments of his divine will. We shall feed the hungry forever and ever. Amen.
I haven't the luxury of being able to satisfy my hunger on staunch blood and lifeless flesh.
Give yourself over to God, Doctor. Expel your urges and kneel before the Lord in praise.
These urges. You know the hunger will never be satisfied.
I've come to embrace the everlasting craving. I have sworn to feed only upon the flesh of the dead. It is now my sacrament. Take, eat. This is my body. So saith the Lord.
You're a madman.
I believe you, Sean. In fact, I envy the peace you found, and will remember it.
There is love and compassion in your heart. You only need to give it wings.
Thank you for your kind words, Sean. Continue your noble efforts. You are a good man in bad times.
Whether if you chase with like a track and you get into like a big fight.
Like all my flock, you have a home here. Anytime you're in the neighborhood.
Thank you. Ooh. Ah, because I didn't kill him, I lost the hint though. Wonder if there's a way to unlock everything, like literally. That's what I'm looking for. Like kill, let people live, but you unlock every single hint that's possible. Or whether it's just not possible, you either like kill someone, lose the hint, and there's no going back, or you know, vice versa. Everyone is, oh, he's unknown, he's healthy. It's just this guy, Ichabod. Oh!
Another corpse thrown in the streets.
Oh, hello.
Someone's playing a very sick game.
There's Ichabod. There he is. Why did I say where's Ichabod? I meant there's Ichabod.
I know this brooch. This is my mother's.
Oh my god.
A birthday gift from father. "29 Pretty Orchard Street. That's near Poplar's district. Why would this man carry off my mother's brooch? I must go there.
Ah, Ichabod.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
A cheap leather wallet found on a corpse left from the Johnathon's night shelter. The wallet contains official paper of demobilization and the address of the victim, 29 Pretty Orchard Street.
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Johnathon Reid. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
Okay.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Poor boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
So,
Ichabod believes vampires have killed Jack Gillingham. Ichabod is not considered a vampire hunter by the guard. Oh yeah, that's what I learned before, wasn't it?
how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
You've never faced, let alone killed, a vampire, Ichabod. You're a fraud.
No, I'm not. I may embellish the truth concerning my achievements, but I'm totally dedicated to my quest.
You have courage, Mr. Throgmorton. Perhaps that is all one requires to face the demons.
Thank you, Dr. Reid. You'll see. One day I'll find and kill one of these monstrosities with my own 2 hands.
Ugh! I should have been an asshole.
Did you see what happened to him?
Actually, yes. He was thrown from the roof like a vulgar log.
Why is it that you sound so afraid?
You didn't see it. He was dead before he hit the ground. The strength required to do such a thing, well, it beggars belief.
Who could have done that?
Who? Well, a vampire, of course. Look, bite marks on the neck and lacerations here. There is definitely a vampire close by.
You're right.
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
I appreciate your concern, but I'm perfectly fine, thank you.
Good.
Goodbye. And good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
So, everyone here is now perfectly healthy. Lovely. Except her is in the midst of getting healthy. Everyone here is completely sanitized. Ah, yes, I can go see this fella now. Good, good, good. And then everyone here would be healthy as well, I believe. Missing. I should hope he's back by now, potentially. Ah, yes, and then this place where I haven't met anyone. This is the more upper district, I assume. Take some posters from the pile. Sure. Still have another quest there, don't I? By the way, I need to speak to him. Where's this? Just here. Danger is closer than you think. They are already here. Do not let them take the kingdom. See a vampire, seek for help. Ichabod Throgmorton, expert vampire hunter. Wow, you actually put expert on there? Man. Now this is going to be boring. But let us complete this task and yeah. Then we go talk to the drunk and do thingies one. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be amazing. Yay. Oh, they're following me.
It's done for him!
Ow.
Away with you!
Informing London's inhabitants of the presence of vampires. What does that make me? A double or a triple agent?
It's funny.
Burn it, boy! Reason shall prevail!
Ooh.
Mine, vermin! We cannot be defeated! With the power of the North!
One more. Ah, there it is. And we're done.
Mr. Throgmorton should be happy.
Can I not just talk to the guys now? Just like, whoa, guys, you should go down and join Ugly Betty or whatever her name was. Alright, ego freak.
Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton.
Dr. Reid, may I be of any assistance? Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
I put up your public service announcement. Consider the common folk warned about the vampiric presence.
Thank you, Dr. Reid.
Okay.
You may not realize it, but you saved a great many lives today.
Thank you.
Do you really think they could be useful?
See the sad saint of the East End? How a single man can help so many people? I consider myself the discreet protector of these men and women.
Tell me, Ichabod, why do you consider yourself the protector of Shornhampton's shelter?
He is a truly inspiring example. Dedicated, pious. His shelter is open to all, whoever they are. Most admirable.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
Still the tallest guy in the well, except from that one guy. Oh yeah, but he's dead, so yeah. Well, I need to drunk man, go see the sun, and the other guy. Oh dear. Alright. Oh. How does a wolf have a pouch?
You should have talked to me.
Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Oh, you're that doctor.
Is it true Shornhampton saved your life?
Yep. The sad saint grabbed my soggy arse and brought me back to the pier after I fell into the canal. I was a wreck back then.
Were you thankful for what he did for you?
Shornhampton really acted like a saint that day. But I suppose I'm just another lost soul who doesn't deserve to be saved.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
As long as everyone's healthy, I believe realistically that I've got all the things that I could use as a hint, and if I haven't got it, then I've just mucked up somewhere.
Look lively! It's on to us!
Ow.
It's an inch! Kill it!
Still really don't know who to give this note to. If I'm
Die,
honest.
vermin! Die, vermin!
Die,
Weapons ready! Find one!
How do they know instinctively that I'm a vampire? It could just be someone wandering the streets. Oh, I'm gonna give it to the mother. If she knows, then maybe she'll prevent him from doing it, but if...
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
I have read your son's suicide note. It was not an impulsive gesture, nor was it his first attempt.
He threatened to kill himself a few times before. But I never thought he would dare to punish me this much.
Punish you? Why?
I've known for a long time he was not happy with his life. But I always hoped he cared enough to avoid making me suffer like this.
Mortimer is extremely vague as to his motivations for committing suicide. Tell me more about what you know.
As you say, Mortimer had no reason to die. All he said to me was that he wanted to make the world a better place, but couldn't.
Why did your son feel so useless when facing the world?
I think it was more that he could only see the melancholy facets of life. He couldn't help but dwell on such things.
What do you think he meant by making the world a better place?
Mortimer has always been a sensitive soul. He wouldn't talk to anyone for months after his father passed. It's like he carries everyone's sadness with him.
You realize your son could try to kill himself again? He might succeed next time.
I think about it every minute. But I won't stop fighting for my son's future. That's how much I love him.
You're right. Your son's death was not fatal. And unlike many on their own, he is lucky to have you by his side.
I can't give up on him. I just can't. I have conceded many times in my life, but giving up on my son is something I am incapable of.
Aha! All three. Bitch refused to acknowledge her son's suicidal tendencies. Yeah, doesn't matter who I give it to.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
I've read your letter, Mortimer. You wrote about an unbearable feeling of despair while the world crumbles around you. Tell me more about it.
There's nothing more to say, really. It's hurtful, it's unbearable, and I don't ask anyone to understand what I feel.
The world is bleak, but maybe the pain we feel is the best compass for making it a better place.
How can we repair the world, Dr. Reid, when mankind is the biggest problem? Yes, the world will be a much better place when we're gone.
Your mother won't let you down, Mortimer. Don't you share her hope for a better future?
No, I don't.
Won't you even try?
Do you want me to promise you I'll get better? Do you want me to tell her the same thing? I could, but it would not change anything.
I have to go now, sir.
I'm doing it for your own good,
But
pal.
don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir.
Trade is trust, but
Good evening, Doctor.
Your son asked me to find this letter, Mrs. Goswick. However, I thought it would be preferable to give it to you.
I already know what I'm going to read. Mortimer, why are you acting in this way? I have done everything I can to help you, but it's not enough.
We will talk about this letter later. I understand that you need some privacy.
Before you leave, take this for your trouble. Thanks to you, my son still has a future. Perhaps.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
100. Ah, that's how you do it. It's all, yeah, all done there. All done there. Ah, convinced. How do I do that? Need braille. No investigations.
Good evening, Mr. Fitz.
Good evening, Doc.
Goodbye for now.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Let's go speak to this Braille fella now, though. Can't remember where he is. Is he in there? Or is he up there? Ah, no, he's this way, isn't he? So we can go past the graveyard on the way. Try and persuade her to leave again. Like, I guess I need something to persuade her to leave, and I haven't. I'm gonna check this area. Oh, so 1, 2, 3, 3 areas. Nice. So that's it. I believe there's 3 areas I haven't checked. 3 like that, and then 1 big talking area. There really is anything I can do here. These guys have all been killed. And the gates just open. That doesn't bode well. Let's see if we can talk to that woman again, get her to move out. She's gone. Track. She has moved though since last I spoke to her, which is good. Hello. Ow. Oi. Piece of shit. Why aren't these guys friendly? Maybe I needed to skip day to get her to do. Hey? Ah, there you are. Do something new to persuade her.
Are you all right, Miss Shun?
My name is Xiao Shun. This is the proper way to address someone in my country.
I do apologize, Xiao Shun.
Xiao.
Are you all right?
Yes, I am. This is the only place where I can find some kind of serenity. Some way to remember my dear Matthew.
Xiao Shun couldn't find the strength to leave her husband's tomb.
Are you on your own? Do you have any friends or family who you could be with?
I have family and friends, but I need to be here alone. One day maybe I'll go back to them, but not now. I need silence. And I need sadness.
I've seen many deaths
God, it
in
was
my
3
life,
options.
and we all grieve in our own way. Some stay silent, or need to shout. Others need company, and some just can't stand it.
Thank you for your sincere
Well, it was
words,
the right one,
Dr.
good.
Reid. I sense you trying
Then
to
again,
help
it
me,
might not.
even if I don't quite understand why.
Tell me how your husband died, Xiao Shun.
Matthew died of the Spanish flu, like so many others. It's a mundane cause of death these days. But for me, it meant the end of the world.
At this time, there is
Say of a disease.
so little medical
says
science
Spanish
can do to defeat this terrible epidemic. I'm truly sorry.
The worst thing is not his death, even if it tears me apart. The worst is not to have seen it coming, to have lost him so quickly, even before realizing it.
Did he hide his condition from you?
Matthew was a smiling type, a happy sort. Everything that I am not. Did he laugh at his death to come, or did he not realize what was going to happen? I'll never know.
The Spanish flu may be the worst disease mankind has ever faced. Why are you blaming yourself?
You don't understand. I didn't know he was so sick. I didn't realize the gravity of his situation until it was too late.
As harsh as this sounds, we are all equally vulnerable to this awful disease. It can take the strongest man in just a couple of days.
I never said goodbye to Matthew. We never realized how bad it was. We laughed about it even. He always made me laugh. Now I don't have enough tears to shed.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I heard that she used to help the refugees, but unfortunately you don't see her around anymore.
You realize you can't stay here forever, don't you? Eventually you'll have to leave the cemetery.
Why? Why should I go? Since this is the only place I can find peace of mind.
But you're not dead. There is a difference between
that free
visiting
option
the
one
dead
again?
and staying with them.
You sound like you're no stranger to the pain I feel.
Let's just say, I too have a good reason to visit cemeteries at night.
Please accept my condolences for your loss then, Dr. Reid.
Are you a doctor yourself? Is this why you feel so guilty for not saving your sick husband?
No, I am not. But I still need to blame someone for Matthew's death. And who else, if not his wife, who did not see it coming?
I'm a physician, one of the best in the country. But I was unable to save my own sister, Mary. She died in my arms.
Why tell me this? Is it supposed to make me feel better?
No. But I felt I should share it with you, since she is buried here too.
May I ask what caused the death of your sister?
You could say she was also killed by a terrible disease. A disease I have sworn to fight and cure, no matter how long it takes.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Dr. Reid. Maybe it's time we start to rebuild our lives, you and I.
You should go home now.
I think you're right. Cemeteries are for the dead, for they need silence too. Thank you for your honesty and your wisdom, Dr. Reid.
Thank you for your company, Xiaoshun. Take care on the way home.
Maybe I'll see you again in Whitechapel. Goodbye for now.
How do you feel? Physically speaking, I mean.
I'm as well as can be expected, Doctor.
Good.
Goodbye for now.
I could have eaten her.
Matthew.
She's maxed out. And, oh no, one thing missing.
The world has gone
Man, he's like a bulldozer. Oh, I believe it's here. Yeah, this is it. 5 of them. Like, I should be able to convince you to come out and speak to me now.
Good evening, sir. It's me again.
Leave me alone, I say, whoever you are.
It cannot be safe for a blind man to live here alone. Let me enter, sir. I swear I mean you no harm.
Well, a voice never lies, and yours clearly is the voice of a gentleman. All right, Doctor, come on in.
Thank you.
What kind of gentleman pays visits to people at this late hour?
I'll be with you in a minute. The staff will help me in my research. Ooh. Loretta still blames herself for Mason Swinburne's acts. It's like, where are you? I can't see you. Are you robbing me?
Wandering in this part of town at night, you're either brave or a fool.
It's locked.
Vampires feed on our soul. Alright,
Wandering in this part of town at night, you're either brave or a fool.
let's talk.
So what is the name of my nocturnal visitor?
I'm Dr. Johnathon Reid. As I already explained to you, I'm inquiring about the epidemic.
Dr. Reid, the eminent surgeon. My God, I'd never have expected a brilliant physician like you to knock on my door.
You flatter me, sir.
No, sir, I am flattered. I read all your work when I still had my sight. I loved it. I'm Mason Swanborough, by the way.
Have you heard anything about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I don't know who she is.
And what else have you learned about me, Mr. Swanborough?
I know you assisted Professor Carell in France, and that you invented a new blood transfusion method based on his work.
Yes. Those were frustrating but exciting days. I loved it.
Yes, the thrill of research and discovery. This is what drives people like us, Dr. Reid. Oh, how I envy you.
Does someone take care of you in this isolated place?
My sister Loretta and I have our daily routine. Every morning and evening she comes by so we can talk and eat. Then she leaves and I stay.
Do you not appreciate your sister's visits?
Loretta is the best and worst thing that happened to me, and I believe she could say the same thing about me.
Where does your sister go?
Well, let's just say, she earns enough money for us both.
What's so amusing about that?
I won't hide the truth from you. Loretta sells a fake miracle elixir to the sick people of Whitechapel.
Naughty.
Why does your sister feel so guilty about what happened to you?
Because she knows I'll never forgive what she did to me.
You run an illegal business with someone you hate?
I don't hate my sister. She looks after me, we have a good time. But I'm just not ready to forgive her.
Do.
Do you know Braille, Mr. Swanborough?
I'm no expert, but I learned it in my spare time, yes. Why?
I found a strange document entitled Cure for Blindness. It's written in Braille, so I thought perhaps it was yours.
Really? Is that some kind of sick joke? Let me see.
Here it is.
This letter seems authentic. And it actually refers to an experimental cure for blindness.
Could have created a cutscene.
You have piqued my interest, Dr. Reid.
Could it be of any use to you?
No. This page is just a part of a larger diary. I'd be glad if you could find the other pages.
Okay.
I found another page of the diary, Mr. Swanborough.
This diary is still not complete. The man who wrote it claims he is a member of some scholarly brotherhood called the St. Paul's Stole.
Really? I've heard of them. Very capable scientists. Perhaps the man who wrote this really found a cure.
I would need more pages to figure it out, but it's as promising as it is intriguing.
I've only got 2.
You seem unwell, sir. Do you need my assistance?
Actually, I feel worse than usual. Can you give me something?
Yes. I can give you a little something that has been proven effective.
Thank you, Doctor.
Goodbye, Mr. Swanborough. I'll leave you now.
Aha, no guy coming up there to fight me now.
See them fancy clothes? This one's at the top.
Seems as if everyone's moved around now.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Have you any news of Nurse Crane and her...
It appears the dispensary is now a major source of
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Oof, 5,000 experience from me. Amazing.
I should never have taken up my father's business.
Fancy buying some?
You never... Right then.
Ah, you're back.
Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reid from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say, a live tenant's a paying tenant.
Have you heard anything about Nurse...
Not really.
Why am I not convinced?
Maybe it's because you lack faith. Being a skeptic must be useful for a man of science.
What help could I possibly be to your business?
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reid, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
I've no interest in money. Perhaps one night I will visit you and take what I require. If that should happen, there will be no need for a middleman.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reid tonic could have really helped people, you know, save lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swanborough shit.
It's unusual to see someone so happy around here, especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
What is your business, exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
Scumbag.
In other words, you take advantage of these poor lost souls.
Begging your pardon, I thought you was a man who could appreciate the complexity of the modern world.
Nope.
Things ain't just black and white, you know.
Tell me, what's your honest opinion of the increasing violence in London?
People are just beginning to discover what we've always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. It made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you. I want to know everything about the recent violence, Cadigan. And I want the truth.
Well, rent may be a bit high, and yeah, I've had to evict a few people. But that's business, isn't it?
Take this as my final warning. You will not profit from the misery of others. Business is one thing, but what you do is quite another.
Really? What you gonna do? You ain't from here. You ain't Whitechapel, Doctor. You wouldn't know the first thing about playing dirty, even if you wanted to.
This shit. And I'm gonna offer you help. Great.
Since I took an oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well, seen better days, that's for sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these people's minds. Take this, in any case.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
Yeah, this is shit.
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
As long as you have the money.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
Have you any...
It seems her dispensary isn't so busy.
Loretta, why do you feel so guilty about your brother?
I don't expect him to forgive me. All I can do is make amends for what I did.
By making him a crook and a criminal. What if somebody decides to make him pay for your scam?
Mason is totally capable of defending himself. Just leave us be. We're perfectly fine.
I know how guilt feels between a brother and sister. Are you sure you're not trying to ease your own remorse?
Mason wants to be useful, can you understand that? And chemistry is his passion. And the Swanborough cordial gives him a purpose in life.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd like to see what kind of...
I'll have a little look around, see if there's any more people to talk to and do stuff.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Have you...
Never heard of her?
Goodbye, young man.
Ah! This guy's flat is in this area, in that other area. Ooh, rats.
I have this thirst for blood. I can't believe I'm doing this.
If I could get some work in.
This elixir will keep you.
Good evening, Benjamin.
I'm afraid...
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
It's a pity that doctors still practice such barbaric methods. It's a dishonor to our profession.
Now only the pills stop me thinking about this shit. To not hear the explosions. I'm even scared of the dark these days.
Benjamin needs medication since he came back from the front.
Have you?
Not recently.
A gun?
I wonder if I can now talk to the boy about his dad being at war and why he acts the way he does.
How are you?
I'm not your boy.
Goodbye, young.
That means nothing to him. Let's have Gander in here now. Is she gone? Or is there a note or something left behind that I can look at? I'll see. Maybe one of them will have a key on them to that back room. Whoever's making that noise upstairs sounds scarier than whatever these ones were. Maybe that is what you call her. Ooh. Oh, is that her? Maybe it is. Maybe a found frame. What's that? Woo, didn't even notice my life. Where'd you go? Oh, are you kidding me? What? She glitched. Ah, good. English armament got the thing. the hell? I got a small key. Oh, I didn't open that little chest that was there. Dead. That is very unfortunate. What the hell? Where the hell did that all come from? Weird. Let's go to a workbench. Let's see if we can make and upgrade some stuff, and then we'll call it a session. Let's see. So, I believe everything apart from go to this guy's place is done. Still in chapter 3. The Braille. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's all done. All done. Yeah, it's just that one, the Braille and the book. It's just that task of sort of remembering who to speak to and where to go. It's weird though. Where's that bloke? Oh. There he is. He's not hanging around there anymore.
Good evening, Mr. Petrescu. What are you doing here?
I could ask you the exact same question, Mr. Doctor. Now leave me alone.
Oh yeah, the last time I saw him, he let me go see her.
I heard what happened to Nurse Crane. How do you feel, Mr. Petrescu?
Everything was going well until you arrived. Dorothea helped people and will be sorely missed.
I regret it too. I wish she'd continued working at the Pembroke Hospital. She was a good nurse.
So you put an end to the operation. Did you put an end to Dorothea as well?
You seem to have a lot on your chest, sir. What's wrong?
I heard you are a famous surgeon. Tell me, what did you do to Dorothea? She was so bright, so clever. Then you made her an empty shell.
I didn't use drugs or medical trickery, Mr. Petrescu. All I did was talk to Nurse Crane. I promise you.
But what happened to her then? After you left, she did not even recognize me. And then she got careless and sick, and I had to flee.
I'm a bit of an asshole.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone, thanks to you.
Why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
Oof. He does not like me anymore. Oh, I've got all the ones for Camellia.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Wouldn't mind talking to Camellia again. Well, I think I've got everything. I've got all her hints though, so I should be able to talk to her if there's anything extra that can be said. Yeah, you're an idiot.
Of your home will not protect you.
Whew, she's worth 5,000 XP as well.
Hello again, miss.
Oh. How do I have all her hints? But I can't. What? Because that makes sense. Weird.
Very well. Goodbye then.
That's mad. Yeah, to the, what do you call it? To the hideout. Oh yeah, that is weird. I was like, wait, why is this loading? What's it doing? I swear it said there was like an event up there though. Oh! New dialogue available. And Lady Asprey dialogue. Said there was something up there earlier. It's gone. Nice. Dang it. 220. 220. That's the best one, I believe, yeah. Maybe is that all I can go to? Tiny good handle part. That's the best one, 480. Can't do anything. $350. This one's better. That's about all I can do right now. Level 2. Sweet. Alright, everyone, we're going to end the session for today, but I hope you enjoyed this playthrough of Vampyr. If you are, please hit that subscribe button, hit like. You've got something to say, put it in the comment section below. But anyway guys, enjoy the rest of the day, and I will catch you all next time. See ya!